innuendo. You can't just like spring it on someone. NiP have never played Astralis, ever. They have played TSM though. It's been that long since they last went head-to-head. It was DreamHack Cluj that these two teams played.
But let's get into this round because we're seeing mid-aggression from Astralis. We've got some Palace presence from NiP. This is a really weird pistol round, really well constructed so far by NiP. They've got control of A, but Astralis like to play the retakes here. This is not something uncommon. However, the lurk factor will come in eventually. That's Get Right being classic Get Right. However, the A double duo has to stay alive for it to be prevalent.
This plant, though, already for NiP important. And Exist tests Xyp9x to the limits, and that's
sick.
Pit there as well, finds Cajun B. Get Right as well, gets on towards Karrigan. A beautiful start there. Well, it's a beautiful end after a bit of a rocky start there for NiP. Now dupreeh just gives it a tickle, finds Pit as he tries to put his head around the corner, but he's got two more players to deal with. And Exist, he's going to get the job done there as well. NiP almost dropped to the lurk, but they managed to hold it together at the end.
And this is the thing, I remember I was speaking to Pimp about their game upcoming against NiP on this very map, and it was a discussion in regards to how they, construct their pistol round on the T side, for example. But actually, he was aware that Threat does often look into how teams play this map, and they will not necessarily anti-strat it, but be aware in the background, like, guys, just a reminder that they do like to hit this side, blah blah blah. But that was a really well constructed round. It was a lot down to Pit and Exist staying alive, but focusing on this one, a full rifle round from NiP coming out here. No SMGs to be seen, 2 Galils of course, but still, this is a very, very light investment in the utility as well. Only 1 smoke on Exist, so I'm curious as to where they build this towards, as of course the opponents Astralis do have the 5.7s out, P250s, some scouts, so still could be very painful for NiP here if they go towards the wrong sort of sites and take it a little bit indifferently.
Slow now for NiP. dupreeh already testing a long way up mid, so that's just now hurted NiP. Will maybe by choice or otherwise over towards Palace and T-Ramp. So Pit will be challenging here. dupreeh, yeah, we got 2 scouts here as well for Astralis. So we'll just see how easily NiP can push across this.
Yeah, and Exist is going to do the smoke towards jungle. That's the one smoke they're going to have. All the other nades being piled in. But that's it. This is a really unique play, actually, coming up from NiP. Being able to try and execute on minimal utility is very difficult. But those rifles are certainly going to do the job. Going to cut out any presence that could have come in from jungle there with that 1 smoke. And Xyp9x is your last man alive with that scout. So he's going to back away from this one and just hold it from afar, as that next round could do with some maybe superior firepower. But well played out there by NiP. A very clean take. Minimal damage accepted. And, that's a dangerous take. You know that dupreeh likes to play that sandwich angle sometimes. You know that Cajun B's a bit of a one-man hero sometimes on that A site. So, again, nice clean round from NiP coming through. Astralis yet to be able to break into this one properly. As it looks like NiP, again, this is the thing that people really like of the Threat Edition. And they talk about this new style NiP. It's not necessarily just the strats they come out with, but how they pace themselves, how they approach around. Because, for example, on Cash, I think people got me mistaken with what I was saying in regards to it as Exist will find Xyp9x. It was that A take that people were going, oh, that's the new threat. I'm like, no. NiP have done that sort of hit for quite some time with the mollies and the smokes, but they refined it. It's the pace they come into it with that has been surprising people, because they, we saw that kind of like when everyone thought NiP were going to break up point, a very take a fight here or there, NiP very misbalanced. This looks like maybe a bit of mid presence, maybe something like that coming out the early smoke towards mid. No one actually going to take that as an opportunity though. We're going to see a bit of a V play coming out as well. Forest and Exist going to go towards that, and a stack. Astralis going to go for that little walk down towards ramp and Get Right. Actually going to be flashed up and loses out.
Yeah, to be fair, he was trying to play it fairly safe anyway. Went for a small peek, but the sheer weight of numbers pressing towards him was enough to overcome. Now, Pit heard all that action. He knew what went on, and he's going to get himself over towards B, while Forest is just trying to shake the cage a little bit. Xyp9x is back, Karrigan pushing forward as well, and Underpass is really starting to put some pressure in. Somehow still alive, somehow gets away with Forest as well. That's huge, but surely cut down eventually. NiP have lost time, they've lost health, they've lost players for this. And now Pit making a later push out of T-Ramp here.
This is very dangerous though. Down a couple of players, split up when you're on your own. You can lose out like this. This is a couple of problems that people really don't like. For example, Na'Vi do often lose to these sort of pistol rounds just because they do play individually, but there is very little with Astralis. This can still be worked out quite handily. And Cajun B, the barefoot assassin right now, if you saw the Astralis picture, gonna just ninja away that rifle and take it back to his loving arms. As now, NiP have, well, Pit, should I say, has control of CT Arch, or CT. God, I'm still on Inferno in my mind. He's in CT, locking that down. The threat is that maybe he doesn't expect Cajun B to be able to get here so quickly, and Exist is very low.
Smoke, though, going to cut KGB off. A grenade as well, and Molotov, he's going to have to hop, skip, and jump ahead of that one as quickly as he can. KGB just has to take 5 right now. He's too low to peak on this one without the rest of Astralis coming through. But dupreeh doing just that. Going to get himself in towards Palace. He can actually challenge Freiburg as well and maybe able to take him from surprises. Freiburg, a little bit occupied. We're trying to spray down over towards jungle. dupreeh may not know that he's there. The smoke was up, preventing anyone from spotting out Freiburg earlier on, and now dupreeh's given up the game. Freiburg under him, but Zipnix is going to check that one as he comes across. Methodical, bit by bit, Astralis work onto the side.
Losing so many rifles has made this so hard for NiP to hold on to. Nice little bait on the shot then after the flash comes out from Pit. He does find one, he sets up for Exist, but now 1v1. KGB does not have time. It's time to run away and try and keep that rifle as safe as he can. And Exist is going to do just the same thing. Exist being a little careful crossing by window because we knew that KGB could have gotten there.
Oh.
But actually dies out because he was a little bit too close. So actually a bit of a shame. I was wondering why he stayed so close to
when it gets a bit dicey, you know, you're low on health, less than 10, and sometimes you just have to guess, how close can I be? Will I put myself in the line of fire here? And he's going to fall. But not all bad for NiP. They can still buy up. Economy definitely not burgeoning at this stage for them. But Forest has himself an AWP. Yet to frag that man, so let's see what he can do with the rifle. Device, likewise, as we do go into this gun round.
So let's take stock of what NiP are trying to achieve in the early parts of these rounds. You're going to Exist, splitting over towards underpass. 3 is quickly pushing up towards mid. This is a very quick mid take, and it actually catches out KGB, but Device will at least keep that in check for now. However, Karrigan has to be the integral factor here. Spots out Pit just above that smoke, sprays him wildly, but he's being chased down, hunted out in the end by Freiburg just leaping in to save the day, and now 4v3. NiP have the advantage after what was a very explosive start to this round.
But now they're slowing it back, varying the pace somewhat. NiP actually not pushing further than Connector. You saw Freiburg take a peek and then take a step back. So Device is going to come to A and just bolster that a little bit here. B, unbeknownst to NiP, is actually not being watched. So Zipnix now making his way only now. But Astralis have to split 1 and 2 here.
Nice little boost towards mid will allow Exist to go walkabout. So that's going to give him a good bit of control. He can hear maybe Device stepping here. dupreeh, though, could be the undoing of NiP. Forest and Pit are going to walk into him.
I think they'll be sensible here.
They should be. It's a known factor that Astralis like to do this.
Yeah. You can see Forest does scope up around the corner. dupreeh may have just heard the sound there as well, but it's not going to stop him from getting on towards Pit. Yes, Forest gets it, but NiP lose another player making their way forward. But there's Exist. He's in a great spot. He gets the shot over towards CT, and now Zipnix has to work his way across towards this A site, but there are players in his way, and Exist is just going to throw the wedge in and send him packing. NiP 4-0 up in this round. This was the map that our desk said that Astralis would probably take if it was going to be a split series.
Classically, it would be, but NiP have come in with this weird pacing that's actually catching off Astralis a bit here. So it's going to be an eco out from Astralis. Last time they liked to push ramp to try and get some dominance, remove a rifle away as Get Right was solo lurking it. But again, the person I have to highlight here is actually Exist, a man who goes unbeknownst sometimes when you're in a lineup with the likes of, you Get Right, your Forests, right? It's hard to sometimes see his sort of individual performance, but he has been having, an increase in performance recently, and we've seen it come through in this game. Some massive kills coming through, not just padding out the scoreline, but actually, ones that do change these rounds. But a massive presence to start towards B. Freiburg being the kind of anchor player towards mid. He can define where these plays go towards if he gets an open pick here or there. But again, Astralis are very good at these rounds. However, playing it very default. This is almost your default, barring the Device is a little closer with dupreeh, I guess, in mid window. And again, dupreeh there just going to be looking through the deagle, not going to see much, mollied out. But where do NiP take this? They've got mid control. Where do they take it towards?
Slowly and surely, it seems to be over towards B. Get Right actually backed away in towards underpass there. And Karrigan is actually going to retreat further back on towards the side here. I think Zipnix got tickled by something there. Maybe even HE thrown at him over the building. Kind of strange, that would be. Or maybe not. Maybe something else. Either way, Karrigan and Zipnix now boosting up in towards this window as well. So Astralis have read this decently well, but this is the only 2 plays they have here. And now, if NiP can read this one quickly, they're going to go down. Karrigan has to turn the flash. He has to turn the second one as well. He sees the head of Get Right, but he can't connect. That could be dangerous. Now Karrigan has to back away. They're trying to sandwich on towards Get Right, but it gets them both. 2 points of health left. And now 3 players from Astralis have to get over to A, B, should I say, pretty darn fast. But Freiburg going to try and stand in between, get shots on towards mid window. It's a spray down. He only gets dupreeh there, as it looks like Astralis can at least salvage away an AK.
Again, though, NiP hunting this one out. Exist trying to find these rifles. They've got to be relatively careful. You don't want to lose out anyone else, but they've got a good idea where maybe some of them are. But again, you've got to be kind of a little impressed, I guess, with NiP at this point. showing up here in Astralis. This is a good map for them. Generally, this is a very good map for them. One of the more dominant teams on this one, but this time NiP looking to keep that economy building up nice and strongly for themselves here. Don't want to give things away, and Device actually in a bit of a good spot, maybe able to catch out. Get right if he steps a little further forward, but no. Device might just get away with this, as will Get Right. Both players just going to sit to their own corners. And 5 rounds up for NiP though. This is a very, very surprising scoreline to start out with. I don't know, like, okay, again, it's early days, it's the first half, you can't read too much into it, but still, this is pretty impressive.
It's kind of went wrong for Carrigan as well, and see Get Right jumping down. I think Zipnix was full flashed as well, so it was pretty easy work for Get Right. But yeah, I mean, this is now the second gun round, so this is probably if there was going to be, I'd be saying after this, yeah, NiP now looking very, very good. A lot of those rounds, Astralis were pretty conservative with, saving up those pistols, or just going for P250s or something like that. Now they're bought up. Double AWP as well. Device and Carrigan both have one, and there's Device putting it to work. Freiburg will fall first, and Dupree's going to be able to catch out. Now, this is Astralis starting to set their feet a little bit. Forest can get on towards Dupree, at least on T-ramp, but it's always traded in. It's always Astralis to the advantage there, and Forest can't do much more but walk out and get taken down. Device with 4 in that one as well. Now, let's think back to this weekend as well, Lauren. Device was a huge factor for Astralis against Dignitas. Not only is No Respect play with the P90 on Inferno, but then he really, really brought the fire on Mirage.
Device is a scary player to see, but actually a double AWP here. Carrigan picking up the AWP on CT side this early.
Had that last round.
See, the thing is though that they were so adamant to keep Devices like not the solo AWPer, but you know the main AWPer, just him, you know, locking it down. It's weird seeing Carrigan going for that so quickly into this game before it's already removes Device. So that's a massive linchpin threat from mid gone. Now 5v4. What do we have coming out in this from NiP? What's their next step in the right direction? Because I want to see how they play out these rounds when they feel they have the advantage.
Yeah, Zipnix and Dupree looking pretty much heavily towards mid here, but NiP don't seem to be really keen to capitalise off a pick from mid-window. They're not flooding down mid and trying to take control this round. They're actually going over towards B. Exist, though, had himself an underpass. He might look to try and pick Dupree off there, but there's Carrigan as well. That double up now, starting to show a little bit. Forest falls. And now NiP with 4 to work with. There's also going to be a Molotov to slow them up. So Exist, that player they've got loose there in towards mid, may be called upon to open things up here, but you can see Dupree and Cajun B on that mini-map over at A pushing into Palace here. So Exist may be called upon. Dupree finding nothing in Palace as he was getting a little bit bored over on A. Yeah, we might see NiP come right on back here. So KGB will press forward here. Needs to be careful. If he gets picked off, it's just going to be Dupree at that side. As Exist is actually ready to catch rotates from short across mid.
KGB. He's about to just get the drop on them. He sees the bomb as well. The problem is I don't think there's anyone there to really capitalize on it. As Exist is already going to make it so hard. And NiP are doing well at like taking this into individual fights and keeping players on the sites themselves. But NiP not being able to make a quick hit off the back of these picks here. Freiburg kind of a little stuck towards ramp. No one's really got the information. Exist could have a good angle, but terrified someone's waiting in dark, possibly. Freiburg swinging out towards the site here. Smoke goes in, but already costing Exist his life as Dupree now wants to make the best of a bad situation for NiP, and the bomb somehow gets planted, but that's going to be a comfy retake and just general hold coming out. And Cajun B starting to really perform in A. This is one that actually see him being actually a bit of a specialist. Like, you get Zipnix being like the solo site specialist now. Like, everyone's starting to take notice of how sick he's being.
Yep.
You look at, like, your trains when he solos out the site. But Cajun B always does really well on this map as well. Like, for me, it's always about Cajun B. And actually, Carrigan a lot of the time on the CT side when he did AWP.
What we see from Cajun B is almost something I'd like to see a bit more from SK's Modi as well. Actually trying to pressure that Palace a little bit more. He generally sits back in lower dark for a lot of the round and only rotates through if the enemy go to the B side and the rest of his team gets wrecked. Take control of that area as well, and you can see what it can yield you. Information and a pick for KGB. Got 3 for that round, but now NiP, they're forced up with this one. We're going to press forward, but Forrest is full flash. He's got to duck around the corner and just wait this one out.
But it's kind of like a bait in towards, like, expect us doing like an eco rush towards B. You smoke out the platform, you just like try and pile out. But actually NiP's attention is still towards mid. Definitely trying to catch out Device here, definitely trying to focus him down, but just getting outgunned and Exist again, sneaking his way in towards window. I don't know how he's getting away with this, but guess where Dupree was waiting? Right in Sandwich. This guy's known for playing these sort of spots and then kind of taking that aggressive play. But he's not the one to be doing the damage. That was Carrigan finding Exist, and now here you see Dupree's aggression again, gonna possibly work out. I think he might have heard some steps then, because he's starting to, you know, readjust, expecting a bit of a push from it, and Forrest is going to cross pretty close, but actually Dupree's angle is still just as deadly as Freiburg. Now just kind of has to face the music and face the fact that he's outgunned, outnumbered, and spotted out here. He's still got the bomb. 46 seconds to work with. And just 4 players to take on. No worries, mate. He's got this.
You know, so Freiburg actually wasn't able to recover the, one of the fallen rifles actually from one of his teammates there. I don't know if it was a Galil or whatever, but that's a great little bit of damage there across the Freiburg as he tries to get to B. He's going to be pressed as well from underpass. He's going to be pretty quick there. So, second gun round's a charm for Astralis. NiP go by force and get nothing from them here as well. And Astralis get 3 rounds on the board quite quickly.
Again, though, NiP here. Money's going to be pretty trashed. Astralis, if they build up economy, they become so dangerous. Like, it's hard to break them off it. They're already starting to, you know, dare to bring out the double AWPs and such. You're going to see this time and time again. A bit of a step then. I think Device saw the foot, maybe expecting a split through mid, and he's right to be feeling so. Going to see the players there. Exist has been boosting up to window so many rounds in a row, and he's going to be doing it again. And Device this time has absolutely none of what Exist is trying to sell, and dupree's going to push up close towards Connector. Gets wrecked by Pit, but again, Freiburg finds Karrigan, so a little more deadly than expected, and that recovered rifle going to be put some good use here. Freiburg just trying to avoid the fire. Astralis just playing from the deep parts of site itself, but have to be kind of cautious here. Xyp9x could be overwhelmed on short as the other 2 players are over by A.
Mid control for NiP, and Pit seems to be going solo over towards the underpass stairs there. Now, he won't be challenged up, but Xyp9x back towards the site. Looks like NiP actually want to challenge him there as well. I feel like Xyp9x sometimes is worth 2 over on that B site, but that's where NiP want to hedge their bets. Xyp9x not certain. You're listening out for any sort of sound inside apartments. Just behind him is it's Get Right and Pit just making their way through, and Xyp9x hearing nothing and looking more towards short here.
Well, you'd think if you're going to come up against this, you'd assume that Xyp9x will be by B, but taking down Karrigan removes that threat from plays like short and any of those sort of angles. So now they know where Xyp9x is. They're easily going to make it out to sight. And actually the bomb, I think, in the hands of Pit. Yeah, Pit managed to make it out, so that's a free bomb plant. Flash comes in, but Get Right's got the angle towards short. Flashed up again, but they've got to be careful now, that push out from Kitchen coming in. Karrigan stepping, but here's the crossfire set. So now Pit's going to watch Kitchen. Oh. Get Right loses out to Xyp9x. Really nice work from Xyp9x to win that sort of fight. Pit can't find any more, but be able to create a plant out of that, take down 2, you know, get a rifle to hand at some point. Still not bad considering how little they had to start with.
Yeah, I mean, it's surprising as well. Xyp9x was in no position to stop any attempt at that plant there, but I think it was Freiburg he caught elsewhere on the map, maybe trying to get towards B as well. And Get Right had the opportunity. And to be fair, no one from Astralis was actually working their way in towards apartments, so decent actually crossfire for NiP over on that side. Just when it came down to the battles, it just didn't work out. Of course, Pit had nothing but a deagle, but we've obviously seen him often be quite effective with that. So, Device, given the AWP to Karrigan. No?
Okay.
Oh, I like this. Bit different. Late peak to short for him. Won't see a lot with the smoke being there, as NiP have got their buy up as well. So Forrest better have his wits about him here. Or have them spilled on the ground, either one.
I don't think they're wits, Mitch. But that was a nice shot. I don't know if he saw Device earlier, saw the traces, expected the angle. I don't know what gave that away, but just nice work from Exist. Okay, cool. So, okay, NiP bring it back to a 4v4. Now, they've actually done pretty well when it comes down to the really late in the end of the game rounds, where it's like the last couple of seconds left. They do start to work it out, but they've got limited amounts left with them. They've got no smokes, 2 flashes and a nade. So if they're going to go for something, they have to do it pretty well, to say the very least at this point. Now, Xyp9x is going to take over watching mid-window, kind of expecting maybe Exist to pop up at some point, which I wouldn't be too surprised with, as Pitt still lurking his way around by Ladderum. A slow rotate coming out from the rest. dupreeh has been meeting this with aggression by ramp, and again, he is holding the angle. There's still Cage and B to go past as well if dupreeh fails, so NiP better be ready for what they've got coming up against them. 28 seconds. This is going to be the one play coming out, so timing is everything, and already Xyp9x finds Pit, so that's going to remove one threat. Now dupreeh strikes, and look at this guy. He is unreal at playing this position, finds 2 so comfortably, and again, undoing what NiP are trying to build here.
dupreeh, his late round work towards T-ramp has been excellent, as you pointed out so far, but it's never from the same spot as well. That time has actually crossed to the left side of the opening, before it's been to the right, sometimes it's up close, sometimes he'll just push out as well. Either way, NiP unable to really predict where he's going to be there as well, maybe even not predicting his presence at all. They really should be by now. But no, they're going to have to go on to buy still, though. A bit of a force up here as Forrest has very, very little utility to work with and no AWP. Fryberg just trying to neutralize any sort of early pushing towards Connector, and that's a spray down on a half-through smoke. Device getting pretty well wrecked there. And Dupree as well sees that play. He sees Get Right go towards short. Get Right tries to take the fight instead of running away in towards ladder room. I guess Zipnix was there to receive anyway. And we have the 4v4.
And considering how they've been losing Device early, they're still being able to get a lot of mid-control here for Astralis, or at least denying NiP full control. But now Astralis need to pull back to the sites, and that's a big start here. Karrigan goes down, but they've got to expect maybe more presence in the bottom of Zipnix, the normal Guardian of B, and it will be Zipnix to come with the kill. Forest gets shut down, and that avenue of attack will be removed. But how does Cajun B respond to this? Where will he go? Exist again. Loves getting to this window this game. He's gonna find Cajun B. Now that would make you think maybe A, but again, Dupree still standing. Has he pushed ramp? So many questions to try and find the answer to, as now Zipnix getting up close and personal, and Zipnix actually gets taken down. Exist gonna get that one, and now, well, last man standing is Dupree. You gotta expect him on A, and NiP are doing just that. Bomb's gonna go down, and a brilliantly played round by Exist in the hard pinches of the final throws there.
There's nothing I enjoy more than seeing someone boost into a smoked mid window. It works really well because a lot of the time if you're on CT side, you'll check ladder room, but you probably won't think too much about mid window there, and that worked perfectly, I think, for Exist, who made his way through. Most CTs just go, okay, fine, yeah, can't pick that. Let's go to jungle. Let's maybe check ladder room. That's it. So NiP get that round back now as well. It is back and forth stuff. The T side for NiP, we see a couple mild issues there as well, but most of them are generated from plays from Device, plays from Zipnix, even Karrigan able to set things up. Dupree pushing deep on T-ramp. So I have to say, both teams starting to get those pistons firing right now, and Exist's little play towards the end of that round has been excellent, and that's going to give NiP their 6th round.
Very hard fought for, and it's Exist being absolutely nuts at kind of holding down mid pretty much, kind of being not necessarily like a lurk, but almost kind of like, if you look at, like for me, I see really weird comparisons between like how Shox plays Dust 2 sometimes as almost a lurking role in mid, always making it really hard to rotate towards the right sides, and always like in the late game trying to get to the right spots. Exist is playing really good at that, and this might be a more default A here. You're seeing the kind of set smokes being lined up. Forrest's going to get one dropped out, and this might be the ones closer to site, possibly. I'm not too sure. These might be the close site smokes.
Yeah.
Again, generally looking for a plant, you know, quicker in the day here. But Get Right's going to be the one holding mid, pretty much, holding the rotate, trying to be a nuisance, trying to make, you know, any player not feel comfortable, and they are the closest smokes to site.
So the Device with AWP has actually gone to A this time. No mid-window presence, and that's allowed Get Right straight in towards Connector. Let's see what else he can do here. He's already been rolling up the natives, and Karrigan actually walked past him there. He did hear the footsteps, though. We at least knows that. But Get Right literally gets away with murder. I guess he'll sit in mid for a little bit longer now, and Fryberg just going to jump on top of Karrigan. Now Get Right can come back to Connector. Good control for NiP over this side. Zipnix gets slapped down by a nade straight to his feet. And it's just Cajun B and Zipnix now to try and hold on. No close angles for Cajun to play this time. He actually is going to have to come forward on this one. Should be expecting someone at Tetris here. There are so many angles that could be taken by NiP. Gets the jump on Fryberg, though. Goes down to 18. Still a good start. He's actually going to allow his teammate in. Zipnix going to go for a defuse here. Forrest is going to be able to bowl him over. That's a kick for Zipnix, though. 2 seconds. Will Zipnix be able to get it done? He does! Astralis take the one back. They get onto the side. And Zipnix, nerves of steel, gets the defuse.
A little heartbreak in that plant was for neither of the players standing. One was on ramp, and I think one was either connector or jungle, but none of the players could have seen that perfectly, and a little unfortunate, I guess, in the end. But, wow. What a play from Zipnix, as you said, just nerves of steel to do that. And again, I know people are wondering why we're getting excited about seeing Karrigan being the solo AWPer. If you look statistically, out of the 13 times they've played this map, for example, Karrigan's only had 54 AWP kills in comparison to Device, surprisingly, with 166. So you can see the fact that he is the primary AWPer, and Karrigan took that role back. But now, speaking of Karrigan, look where he's walking up. Just going to take a little bit of a meander through short into completely hail of bullets. Yeah, a nice salvo just gifted over towards him. So 5v4 now again, and NiP with a one-man start here.
And Zipnix taken very, very low, trying to hold B there. Now Device actually taking the AWP back. Going to be helping at B as well. So in the last 3 rounds, we've seen him mid, A, and B. Happy to float a little bit here as Dupree and Cajun have already pressed up and taken control of A. So reasonable for him to be here. Exist just checking himself now as he backs away through underpass. And again, if NiP do want to work on towards A, probably not going to be B at this stage as Device takes down Exist. If they want to work A, deal with Cajun B. Check your close angles. I know they're going to be definitely checking as they're walking towards T-ramp as well, but they need to be ready for whatever else might... Exactly.
Is this going to be a late A hit? They only have 2 smokes, though, so where are they going to choose to put those?
Budget A hit. Still get some decent coverage down.
So that's one for jungle. I think Forrest did one to CT. I'm not too sure, actually.
Yeah, stairs.
So we've got one stairs, one jungle. Okay, there we go. So they're going to leave CT open. Zimix and KGB could have a time of their lives, but KGB is flashed up, takes the extended flight. Pit wins it, completely flashed, however. Needs to be quick to get across and allow that smoke to actually play its part in this. Freiburg's going to try and get a plant, but Zimix could be a real problem. This good late round flash comes out, completely blind zip, as our graphics are giving me maybe a bit of a seizure here. Pit will find him in the end. And now 4v2, Dupree and Device. Consider your options, boys, because there's 4 players in that side that seem immovable.
No, I think Astralis are going to back away from this one as well. We've got to give credit to NiP there as well. They've had problems late round working towards A in this game already, but this time they definitely got it done well. I like the smokes as well, cutting off, I think it was Dupree there, sitting in towards Connector, so he wasn't able to respond very, very quickly. And again, shutting down Cajun B, pushed up close on Palace there. It's going to be, this is an excellent game already. Definitely delivering so far. You can see scorelines here as well. Device has been playing well. Being shut down on occasion here by NiP. Peek it.
Oh, save it. Save your guy. Well, the thing is, Device can drop someone out, so he kind of had to stay alive at that point, so he's going to drop one over. He's got the Zeus for good measure, just to be that sort of scumbag.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I saw that in his Venom. At least he's not like Spitty, who actually wants to use it. I mean, Device could have misclicked, but hey.
I used to like it when he did like the confetti. That was always yeah, that's how I waste my money. But again, this looks like a faster mid take from NiP. Pit and Freiburg just going to step straight out on that. Dupree again looking for the active fights towards ramp, but NiP with a different posture here. Get right going through Palace. Exist soloing out to B. This could be like a late kind of split towards A possibly, but then again, let's see what Dupree, KGB and Carrigan can achieve as Device already looking for information over by B. And this could be costly towards Exist there, and it is. It cost him his life. Device going to find the first kill again, and back and forth we go. These first kills have been so hard fought for. Now remove at least some pressure from that B side as Zimnix can now sit pretty far forward and lock that one out and allow Device the freedom to move back over. Get right finds one back though. And this is unreal. They're going tit for tat in this. That
was Dupree's close angle there as well. So, no, Get right, sorry, pressing out towards Palace, finds him there. Another trade. Device already got himself to A as well. He's ready to receive Get right. Been very, very hard for NiP to track the presence of Device. He's just all over the place in a good way. And now it's Pit and Get right. Got to come forward. Pit has an AWP here as well, but there's no one going to be in jungle. Tough off
adjustment. Angle. He actually hit the shot as well, just like not properly. The thing is, Pit's been like secondary AWPing to Forest as well on Cash, so he's not exactly a stranger to it, but this 2v3 that's now a 2v2 should be pretty hard to hold, considering Pit's very low, and the tag came out, but it wasn't enough. And now Get right in the 1v2. Bomb planted. He can see it. But Device is going to go on the swing. He gets found. Now down to a 1v1. Carrigan has 16 HP. Get right knows his spot. The shot rang true. But there you get it. Get right comes out, gets the 4K. And in what was a situation around that Astralis should win every day of the week, you see players like Get right turning up and having absolutely none of it.
Incredible stuff there as well. Carrigan almost had him. I think he missed a very crucial shot. As Get right got that first kill in the 1v2, a part of you thinks, do I peek now? Do I just try and take it by surprise? No. He took a second to wait and then came forward. He still was lucky to not get picked up by Carrigan there, but the timing probably caught him off. And now Astralis forcing into this one. Dupree going to play up close with the Mag 7. No surprises here, really. And it's going to be a P90 for Device. See if he can get away with using it like he did against Dignitas.
And I reckon this is going to be probably quite a slow round from NiP, considering Get right was already expecting maybe that ramp presence, or actually saying that, maybe expecting a lot more pistols maybe coming out, because normally, you know, Astralis do like to stack out ramp here. He's holding all the way back in T-spawn, so letting the rest of the plays come through from the 4 other players and seeing what they can find here. They're going to get a good bit of information. You're going to hear the steps from Zipnix. Who is he in Underpass? Is Zipnix going walkabouts right now? No, tell a lie. He's on short. This map sometimes gets my brain hurting.
There's no way you're going to pass this.
No, I was like, how did he get there with Exist there? So he's a wizard, Harry. But no, 5v5 still. No early picks given away so far. And Get right might be playing this like an absolute hero. Look who's about to walk into him. Cajun B spots out the information, but still gets them packing. And Astralis can't find out that information they so desperately want. Freiburg will find Carrigan, giving them once again the man advantage and already a great deal of damage towards Cajun B on what is a very shoddy buy-up round from Astralis.
Plenty of respect here for NiP. You can see them playing this one slow. The fact that Get right's still standing in spawn is saying that he wants to leave NiP open to adjustment. Now, Dupree might be able to get the jump on Freiburg as he jumps in towards mid-window, straight towards the head. And the Mag 7 claims yet another foe. Now, KGB has to back off on the side. He was a little bit too deep, and Exist is just going to barrel through him there, but he has to be careful. Dupree actually jumped in towards mid now, and Astralis all have to filter through Connector. We might see a late jump back in a mid-window here from Zipnix, but Zist not quick enough there.
What?
Great from Zipnix, comes in with what I believe was a 5-7 to take his head off. The bomb's down, but Dupree turning it up now. Only 2 players left for NiP. Get right and Pitt sitting well back here. Pitt just watching for a flank, and they're not in the best spots to really hold this one.
They're really not. Get Right's in a horrible spot to hold it if they actually check. I hate this sort of play, but they need to work together, and this and Pitt just gets swept aside. Dupree and Device picking up 6 kills then, and the diffuser's going to come out. What a good first half from this game. I can't wait to see the second half here, because NiP's T-side looked the most well-constructed I've seen in a while. The very start of it, I think Astralis were almost taken back for a bit. They're like, okay, we've actually got a game on our hands here. And then they started to turn up, right? Then you started to see a little bit more of what they could bring. Especially closing out those close rounds in the end, only dropping a couple of those that they probably shouldn't. But again, Astralis' T-side is pretty nuts themselves. Great mid control. Love the play ahead of the smokes that they sometimes do towards A, that kind of like Danish dynamite style, right? Just kind of like bursting through. But I think this is just going to be a great game overall. Both teams turning up here on what should have been a very clean map for Astralis if you looked historically on this. Even though the two do go kind of like blow for blow, this is a better map overall for Astralis, you'd feel. Even though maybe NiP do, they do pick up wins here, but it's not of the same caliber. It's not of the same sort of high tier teams in that regard. And
percentage-wise, I mean, both these guys win, I think, 83% of the time in the last 3 months. So it's about the same, but these guys haven't played each other, which is so crazy, since October last year in Cluj, right? So that's a heck of a long time ago, and right back then everyone was like, yeah, NiP seemed to just be able to deal with Astralis. They seemed to just have their number, and like Yanko put it was a vintage performance on Train and Dust 2 back in Cluj, but so much has changed since then. And what's good to see as well is for two teams that haven't played against each other since, I mean, what was that now, like 5 months? Almost half a year. Yeah. They still have a good understanding of how each other plays. They've been watching, and they're definitely, it's measures and countermeasures we're seeing from both sides of the coin here.
Yeah, everyone, I know a lot of teams coming up against a NiP are well aware that Threat does his homework. Speaking to Pimp, he was a player who said himself, like, a couple of our pistol rounds were probably going to be known to them, especially on this map, right? SK do occasionally. They've got a couple up their sleeve. One that you'll see more often than not is Cillian doing the smoke towards stairs. The rest of them burst out through Palace. They get the plant, blah, 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 right? And then you played against NiP on the CT side. NiP instantly put like 3 players, not necessarily dedicated to watching the Palace push, but being very quick to respond. So you'd exist holding extremely close, everyone else kind of positioned to receive it as well. And then you had to see SK having to adapt to another sort of style they like to go to, which is just that mid-rush. It actually worked out quite well. But again, it's the fact that when you're playing against a team who has an understanding of what you like to do, it gets into your head a bit. You're like, am I actually doing the right thing here, or should I be playing differently because they know what I'm doing?
Or should I do the same thing
because they want to expect it, right?
Change it, right?
Yeah, so it does get into your head a bit, and certainly curious to see how Astralis approach their T side. That's been pretty dominant for quite some time. I love the fact that Astralis' CT sides have that aggressive sort of nature to them, which a lot of other teams are trying to adopt, it seems, where you try and get the information no matter where on this sort of map. But again, their T-sides are certainly not shabby at all.
I love that we can let Rush off the chain as well in the halftime there. Some sick panoramas there as well from the man. We even had like a top-down view and then like some... It was nice. Follow him. Rushley 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the tweets. Yes, with his controller. You will notice there's like a LBRB underneath the player name there. You can see it there. It's because he's using a controller. Pro tip, don't use a controller. And now here we go. Going into the second half, it's going to be NiP Astralis. 1 round separates these two. And is NiP's T-side going to be impregnable enough, or will it be all red and white as Astralis look to try and break them open?
And this is an interesting start here. We've got Karrigan with the utility, Zipnix with the utility, cute. But somehow it's Dupree to find the first. Gerai gets absolutely side down there. And I don't know. This is very unique. I'm kind of curious where Astralis want to take this in the end, as KGB's the one with the Tech 9. So looking at Karrigan and Zipnix for wants to create the play towards the end of this, as this must be just a ruse almost, or just like a bit of a gambit, a little bit of a trick up the sleeve, because they are backing away from that B hit. Karrigan's backing off as well. So where are they going to put this?
Look at the mental games going on here.
And I'm wondering if that's a late mid smoke possibly coming out actually from maybe Karrigan. He can get back towards T and maybe smoke deep towards window, or no, this is a late A hit possibly, yeah. Ring a roses.
I like it.
Try and guess this one.
Yeah, I mean, Astralis know, of course, how important this round is. I just wonder if they're going to replicate it when the gun comes in. The guns come in, should I say.
All right, so Karrigan...
Late set play, cool.
Jungle, Zipnix stairs, they're going to leave CT open. And I guess just trying to take the Glock fights towards it if needed. The one player at CT is going to be Exist, so he's going to be the one to have to see all this coming through and spots it out. But by now, Astralis steps towards the side, and KGB rails the shot. So Astralis playing a beautifully constructed pistol round here. Carrigan going to switch up to the USBS and take the fight.
Right.
Device to claim it, however, leaving Forest confused, basically dazed by the approach from Astralis here, as that was a lovely round from them. And again, Forest not with much of a chance to get into this, as already you can see a nice little setup from Astralis to watch the cross here, and Forest just has to leap in and sick little shot towards Cage and B there, but not enough to take the round.
How to trick your corners like a beast as well, just back and forth. Who's it does it? Pimp or Magis? Someone from SK always does that. You can tell when they're annoyed, they just quickly flick. Even in a serious game, they flick back and forth there as well. But I think Forest was actually checking corners with a high sense, but no, Astralis get the pistol back. UMP buy for Zipnik's Cage and B on the Tech 9. And we'd have to have two AKs being bought in here. Now, not stunning utility really for Astralis here. Carrying Cage and B are very, very little.
Yeah.
I mean, NiP have less, but that's to be expected.
Yeah, and this is the position Exist likes to play when he maybe expects presence in Palace. He's been the player who's had to deal with this time and time again, and actually he's done quite well sometimes with this, and you'd assume that he does have a disadvantage, and he will with the P250, but he's certainly no slouch at holding these sort of angles, even though Cage and B is on the other side with the Tech 9, so pick your poison, I guess. And Pitt, again, going walkabouts up here. Last time it was Getright who got caught out, kind of pushed up a little bit and kind of got punished at B. And again, it's a 4-1 split, so NiP just going to try and put all their numbers in one side, and Pitt with the AWP. Deagle using it like an AWP.
Get the gun, boy.
Please, Pitt.
Get the gun.
Short little T-Rex arms trying to like leave out, like, please. Please, sir. There you go. He's just going to get the tag.
Ooh.
Pitt gets the kill to follow up as well.
All right, Pitt.
I've got to say, actually, Pitt was one of the players with Deagle that I originally started to think maybe he's worked out something here. And actually, it's NiP as a whole working this round out. This is sick stuff. They've actually got everything going in their favor. Dupree's the last man standing, and a hesitant Astralis gets punished in a tentative round by NiP with nothing but pistols and armor.
Dupree on his own here, not even with the bomb at this stage. He's left it back a little bit. Maybe get a pick here, rotate to B, try and play knifey spoony with ninjas in pajamas, but he's only got 33 seconds left in the round. That's just not much at all. And yet, he will do so. Back away. Pitt set up in mid. I can't believe this. NiP losing no one for this round. Should never happen to Astralis, but and yet it has. And I've got to give credit to Pitt again. Setting things up over in apartments was just stellar. Get right. Did he see Dupree there? I have to think he is. He's shifting a little bit on his feet. He's got a UMP as well to spray on down, but Dupree does see Pitt first. That was an AK that Pitt managed to salvage. Get right. Okay, gets it done eventually. And he gets that AK as well that Pitt dropped. So, 9-8 here. NiP keeping this one competitive. And this is just the first map of the series as well. I mean, Keish coming up next. Going to be stunning.
I love Keish.
Did you just say it the way I say it?
Yeah, just a message.
I'm going on you. I know, it's like moss on a rock. Can't stop it.
Disease.
It's like a disease as well. Yes. I thought moss on a rock was a far more picturesque way to frame that, but you know what? That's up to your interpretation.
Yeah. All right, back into this round though. Astralis going to have a massive focus towards A here. Tech 9's one smoke on Zipnik's and the rifle on Cage and B. So he's the kind of like surprise final blow maybe. And actually NiP getting very aggressive towards ramp. Freiburg could get overdone here. Right? Kind of dangerous playing like this against pistols with armor. He has got the SMG, so he's the one, if anyone's going to die, they probably won't mind it being him. Exist finds Cage and B, so there's that kind of like wombo combo down, but Zipnik's overruns them, Carrigan finds Forest, and now it's down to a 2v2. You'd assume it's Getright and Pitt to come up with the goods, but there's still armor and rifles on the other side. Device gets tagged, but still stands.
Pitt now in connector as well, so Getright has to take 5 and back away from this smoke. Unexpectedly, he's not going to go back towards CT because Pitt there does pick up Device. Zipnik gets the plant. Has armor, no grenades left to deal with, and Getright actually, it's a delayed push towards CT. Maybe Astralis would have expected him to instantly rotate across. Either way, the 1v2 not going to be taken out there, and NiP get another round on the board here. After getting wrecked in that pistol round, this is a great way just to throw a stick in Astralis' spokes. Great way to get 2 rounds on the board as well, funnily enough, and they are in the lead.
Yeah. Don't know what else I can say to that. Yep. Yeah, very true. Astralis, after what was a bit of a force into that round, it kind of, a little bit lost for cash, but it was going to be pretty much a kind of, not a double eco, but, like a double shoddy buy, so. Is what it is for them. They can get a plant, that would be really nice right now. Just a little bit of extra cash in the pocket would be beautiful, but at the moment, it looks like a set B play. The smoke maybe towards short being lined up there in the right side. I think that's Carrigan doing that, I think. Yeah, that's the smoke towards short going over. That's going to just drop down. Oh god, I hope we're not attached to this smoke. No, we're not. But it's just giving away the game more than anything, and Pitt's going to just line him up, knock him down. Nice spray control in the second.
Great spray control.
And really nice crossfire coming in. Completely clean. What is this new duo with GetRight and Pitt coming through?
I don't know. It may well just be the new hotness. Pitt there actually got a third kill. We went away from him, but we were like, yeah, good spray control. And then he transferred spray again and got another person. I was like, okay, gooder spray control.
Gooder?
Fantastic. Gooder.
Like cheese?
Goudera. Oh, is that how you pronounce it? I was like, is that some Gouda cheese?
Gouda.
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 I love that stuff. That's great. But what's not cheesy, though, is what NiP are putting up here. They're just solid. They're just holding tight. And Astralis, so far, haven't made any inroads, but here's the AK buy.
Well, last time around they did this. Exist ripped him to shreds, and he's going to have a chance to do it again. Wow, okay. Forrest just going to go for the shot. Trashes Device. This is... I don't see this often, right? Astralis are normally such powerhouses on this map, but Exist going to smoke out again towards Palace. Maybe have a good idea as to what's coming. Maybe they're starting to read this a little bit here, and they're actually going to back away.
I can hear the NiP fans already cracking those Nocco cans in celebration right now. Everyone's saying, Nocco. You know, that
oh, the energy drink.
Pinching each other like, pinch me, now you pinch me. Is the NiP magic really back? Well, I don't know. Let's wait and see.
Put your cans in the air, Mitch.
Oh, not bad at all. I'll pay that. I do have to hold that up. But anyway, Freiburg now going to be holding against close. Now, against someone like Dupree, he's going to be expecting the close hold, but that's Exist. Perfect stuff. Forrest able to get towards Carrigan. Exist falls with that kill. Really important to take wind out of the sails here. Cajun B at least able to get Freiburg, and there's some progress being made, but it's eventually going to get cut down. And this CT side from Ninjas in Pyjamas looking really, really solid.
Yeah, and it was the intuition as well then from Exist to go, okay, well, I pushed up ramp, they've seen me. Where am I vulnerable from next so they can try and punish? Oh, Palace. Okay, cool. Let me just adjust and, you know, wreck the guy trying to push there. It's just really good individual play again, and I keep having to highlight Exist. He's one of the players who does step up, and he's been doing more and more so. Not looking on the scoreboard, but individually having some really good performances, if I'm really honest. And GetRight, his clutching capability has been second to none. So really, Astralis being put through their paces on a map that you don't expect them to be so hard, you know, fought for.
KGB now trying to test. Oh, gets Exist at long range there. The man who we're just talking about. We may have just jinxed him, but now Freiburg rather dangerously skirts across the bomb site. At least there was that smoke in towards T-Ramp to protect him. Device is 5 health. KGB not looking great either. We'll see now in NiP how they split and spread to this one. It's going to be Zipnik's in underpass as well as Dupree. Pitt in a great spot to receive this one right now as well. Don't really know what Astralis can set up for this one. Nope. Vertical shot down straight through the dome of Zipnik's, and now Forrest as well. Aware there'll be some pressure from below, but he's a little bit preoccupied with Cajun B down the mid, who has that deagle, already able to get it towards Exist. And Dupree gets his on towards Forrest there. Going to be a smoke to follow in, but Dupree may well just push ahead of it. Yep, get a bit aggressive. Looking at Connector now as Freiburg may have to hold this on his own if GetRight isn't fast enough, or GetRight can catch Dupree. I don't think so. It's going to be the deagle shot straight towards the head, and this is nutty stuff. Freiburg has to hold A on his own now. Pitt actually being kept back from Dupree. Huge individual performance from him with those last 2 kills, and gets himself an M4 to boot.
And this is when, you know, Threat gets out like the beating stick. He's like, why are you losing to pistols, guys? Just standing right behind them, you know what I mean? Just breathing down the back of their necks.
No clutch, no food.
Yeah, exactly. And Pitt and Freiburg will be like, please, can we have some more? Going to try and fight their way back into this. And actually doing very well so far. 2 kills already. Device is low. No way are they going to get this one back again. Pitt's going to go for the swing. Gets it. And now 1v2 Device.
5 HP.
He's got to go for the dream clutch.
Pitt's not going to be ready for this.
He just turned away. Oh my god, timing is everything. Pitt will get it. There's a kit on site, but I think he might just have this.
He's got it. Yeah, buddy! Pitt with 1 health gets it done.
What is with Pitt at the moment with these clutches? It's like him and GetRight just going backward and forward.
Okay, Pitt, so you get food tonight. It's going to be some gruel from IKEA, all right, if you don't win the game. If you win the game, maybe we can talk about Kotpala or something else. But for now, at least you know there's going to be something on the table. Nicely done. 18 and 13 Pitt is as well. Really been enjoying, honestly, in general, watching Pitt as he's come across. Have been enjoying his performance, his improvement. And now it's double AWP for NiP.
And yeah, it's Pitt doing it again. Something we saw initially start on Cash. He actually took the AWP in front of Forrest. Good flash to allow him to get the angle towards possibly Device, who has a real affinity for playing solo towards B. And Pitt just undoes it. Takes him apart piece by piece. Lovely play in the end, and will now have the angle. I don't know what's going on here. Normally, I'm the one, you know, a champion of the Astralis style on this, but it is just being completely brutalized by NiP. Some may say savage right now, Mitch.
Well, it's potentially brutal if it goes any further.
Let's just hope it's not all but over for Astralis here, as they could be wrecked after this one.
For a second, I thought we weren't going to do it, and I was really sad, but there's Get Right. He's also going to impress us there as well. Picks up Carrigan. I was halfway
ready.
through like the pimp hand. Like, I cannot believe you did that. But now it's going to be 2 in towards mid. Pip will be able to spot into this one as well, who's had a very, very good hold on B so far. Now, 3 AWPs, by the way, out for NiP. Just, you know, because anything, they need more. Excessive. Right. Sipnix will make his way forward now as well. Do know who they're on. Freiberg can watch. He's watching close A with that. What, you know, give them over to Get Right. 8 health there for Dupree after that little trade there. He's got not much choice but to go forward here. Good nade on towards Freiberg. Great read by Forrest. Great little off-angle slide down as well. He gets the damage done. That's probably going to be enough here as Pitt takes down Dupree. This is Zipnix now as well. We're going to back off in this one.
Yep, run away. But the thing is, right, normally, for me, Astralis, or, okay, specifically, players like Dupree, for example, are absolutely phenomenal, you know, getting a sneaky way through here and there. They'll get into, you know, Ladderum, for example, and their T-side can be so beautifully watched for Astralis normally, but Dupree's having a good game, but he's not being able to convert the same sort of kills and the kind of, it feels like the impact that brings, you know, that can be brought along with them. So again, NiP stringing rounds together here on a map that you every day of the week say is quite a good one for Astralis. And again, let's see what they can bring out now, because they have to start working this out. They have to start bringing something through. Because every other team watching this right now, looking at that major going, okay, well maybe NiP is actually a team we do need to worry about. And it suddenly gets a bit worse. Freiberg a little half-handed then. So he's babysat by Exist, and already does find 2. So the game's pretty much afoot here. Device could be the one with the bomb. Cajun be already out by sight. Carrigan holding that mid-rotate. Possibly going to be challenged down by Get Right pretty down soon. But Forrest on the way through towards CT. And it's time again for the retake for NiP.
This is about as late, realistic. Ooh, hello.
See the foot.
Cheeky. Oh, he gets the leg as well. That's classy. Cajun B now starting to stress a bit. Can't
There's
really
a nade
leave
on
that
Get
spot.
Right.
I'll do it. Yeah, buddy! Cajun B goes down. Get Right is going to Molotov over towards Pat. I'm doing this a little bit too much, I think. Device now is up on Tetris. Flash for a moment as Forrest has come forward to get the defuse. Can he steal this one away? He's behind the box. Get Right gets on towards Carrigan. He's got the kill. He gets it done. It's going to be match point for NiP. Ah, that's some classy stuff there. I'm not going to lie, Lauren. Both sides now have gotten themselves cheeky little defuses there through the smoke.
Mitch's room, just like taking off the makeup that he had to use to cover that NiP, you know, tattoo he got years ago.
Well, the Get Right
just like
sticker
Get
on
Right's
my
face
rifle. Yeah.
down his arm. It's like, they're back, guys. It's been
back
too
when I was
long.
just a young lad. Those are the days.
But this has been a sick game and a really sick display from NiP. And Astralis aren't playing badly. They're just being outdone here. And Freiberg again just being up close and personal. Device having to take that one, and now down to, I was going to say 4, make it 3. Get Right finds another. And now Cajun B, Zipnix and Dupree have to catch a way through. More flashes coming through than they've ever seen before in their lives. And Dupree desperate to find an angle as Pitt patiently waits like a coiled viper just waiting to strike. And here we go, Dupree and Cajun B, last 2 standing. You got to do something here, boys, because this was meant to be your map.
Cajun B now as well knows Freiberg is lurking behind those boxes, but whether he can get onto him is going to be another thing altogether. This is Astralis not going out with a triumphant roar, but crumpling in a whimpering heap, and NiP crushed them in that first map.